What's up? Tony Kress here, and I'm going to talk to you about the Theracane, this wonderful device for some decreasing shoulder pain and increasing shoulder mobility work. Theracane, most of you guys have probably never seen this before, but what it is basically a rehab tool. And when you have something like an injured shoulder, usually what happens is there's some adhesion that builds up in that shoulder joint. Some tension starts to develop in the upper traps, also within the shoulder itself. That range of motion in your shoulder becomes very limited. So something as simple as this can become something like this or something like this with a decent amount of pain. And what I'm going to do is show you a couple different movements you can do with the Theracane to actually decrease that pain and actually start to restore mobility in the shoulder. So what we're going to do is take the top portion of the Theracane, the curved part, and we're going to place that right on our trap here. So you want to start at the base of the neck. And if you have big traps, this is going to be a lot easier for you to find. But we just want to get that chunk of meat that's up there, you know, in right where the shoulder attaches to the neck. We're going to find that chunk of meat, and all we're going to do is take this hand, the top hand, and we're going to press down on the Theracane. And then we're going to take the bottom hand, we're going to press out that way. And what this is doing is actually applying some direct pressure onto the sore muscles or the tight muscles. Now, I'm going to take this. For me, I have a relatively thick trap. So I'm going to take this and go down a line here. I'm going to start up, and I'm just going to move down that line until I get to that process in here. There's going to be a little divot in your shoulder, and you want to end in that little divot. But I'm going to take my time, and where there's pain, I'm just going to press down and rub on that pain, kind of rub on that pain area, and just go over this, you know, you could go up to a couple minutes on this, maybe 5 minutes on just this trap area. And what this is doing is sending some signals to your body to let this relax. Because right now what's happening with someone with shoulder pain or shoulder injury, what happens is that trap starts to compensate and start to overdevelop. It starts to overactivate. So what happens is, I'm exaggerating, but what happens is this starts to happen. What we want is natural function of that trap and have it be down away from the ears. So what this is doing is sending signals to your brain to tell that muscle to start to relax, right? We're massaging out those knots, and we're massaging out the tension in that muscle. And if we do this enough, what happens is we don't have neck pain when someone kind of digs in there. But right now I have a decent amount of pain, but you can spend, 3, 4, 5 minutes just on the trap of that affected area. You can even go to the other side, because more than likely the other side is going to have a little bit of tension in it too. But what I find in most of my clients and what I see in the ones with shoulder injuries is one side is a little higher than the other. So we're going to try and get that side to start to lower. The next thing I'm going to show you is just for the front of the chest, where the chest attaches to the shoulder. Usually that's going to be tight as well, because if we look to the side, what's going to happen is people are not going to have normal shoulder function, normal posture here. What happens is when that shoulder injury occurs, even more pronounced will be this forward shoulder motion here. And what that's doing is tightening up this chest muscle here where it attaches to the shoulder. So what I'm going to do is just take one of the ends here. This one doesn't really matter which thing you take, but I'm just going to put that into my chest, right where it attaches to the shoulder. And I'm just going to kind of rub back and forth and side to side and start to break down some of that tissue as well. I'm not going to spend quite as much time here. We should spend a little bit more time, but more than likely you want to get a manual therapist to do this one. But I'm just going to rub that out. And then we've got our final one. You're going to take the hook end, and you're going to go underneath the wing of the scapula. So if you cannot find your scapula, what you're going to do is take this hand, you're going to put it back like this, and then you're going to find, other hand. So I'm going to reach back this hand, and I'm going to find my scapula on the other side here. I'm doing this totally wrong, but I'm going to take this. I'm digging into my scapula. If you can see, my thumb is indented right here into the wing of my scapula. So what I'm going to do is try and take this and try and hook that in the wing. So I'm going to try and hook that in the wing and just pull. I'm going to pull here and try and dig that even more in that wing. And what I'm going to do is, sorry, this feels good for me. And what I'm going to do is just rub underneath that wing and down the line of it. You'll find that there's going to be a crease down the wing of that scapula. And we're just going to try and rub all the way down that line. So those are 3 exercises you can do with the old Theracane that will help you with some decreased shoulder pain, increased shoulder mobility. Check us out, TonyCrest.com. Got a Facebook page, Tony Crests. I don't know, we got YouTubes, blogs, that sort of thing. Hope this one helped. All right. You can also do this with, you can also do this with something else like a stick. But what you want to have is these little pressure points. So find something that has some pressure points like this to where you can actually manually dig into those spots. All right, that's it. We'll see you next time.